Hope all is well. Let's take a deep inhale and exhale. And while we're doing that, let's keep in mind that I'm the guide, I'm the instructor, I'm just the advisor here for educational purposes only, sharing my journey. Anything you see, or read, or hear with Holistic Creators LLC, Tequila Nari May, Sky Lotus Nari. We're just sharing our experience. We're just sharing our journey. I'm not a lawyer or a doctor. Again, I'm a holistic creator and an advisor. So today, we're taking full advantage of this full moon energy. Of course, if you have any stimulants that are of the earth that you want to enjoy while under this full moon right here. Also, you see here we have our crystal jewelry and our raw and polished crystals laid out so they can get cleansed and enhance the metaphysical relations that they have. But now it's time to educate the mind. It's time to free the mind. So we're going to free the mind with the little UCC, with some law. Get this back angled right. Yes. It's a little cool out here too, so gotta take those precautions. Being warm. Thank you for the reminder. Hold on. Thank you for the reminder to press play in other places. Okay, grace and gratitude for choosing the Sky Lotus Nari frequency. Keep in mind, I'm the guide, I'm the instructor, I'm the advisor. Your body is your teacher, your own brain and knowledge is your teacher. I am not a legal attorney. I am a holistic creator, learning and exploring and enjoying and sharing that journey with you. So under this full moon, you're going to use your wise judgments from this day forward. Anything I say or offer is just an offer or suggestion, and it's not something that you need to continue to abide by unless you choose to, So again, I'm not a lawyer, not any legal attorney, not any affiliated with any law enforcement. I'm just a yogi, a divine creation, taking the space I need to elevate and stimulate under this beautiful, where you at? Beautiful full moon. There you are. Grace and gratitude for the full moon. Grace and gratitude for you and for me sharing this frequency. And there are my jewelry, my raw crystals, and my bouquet of flowers I got for myself. And now it is time to elevate our mind. Yes, law with some freedom. UCC, UCC connection. First, you must say these full moon affirmations. Let's get this energy. And we're going to actually say the full moon affirmations and the intentions. Oh, of course, God body. Look, I was not minus the breast. Like, not minus them. Definitely their ad, right? But logo, it's my logo. This is an ankh with a lotus flower and the chakra colors representing God body. Holistic Creators, Grace and Gratitude. And I am God Lotus Nari. To Kayla Nari, God Lotus Nari. Peace and prosperity to you. Peace and prosperity to me. Okay. Full moon, October 9th, 10th. Affirmations. Like the moon, we have many phases, and they all are amazing. Like the moon, we illuminate dark spaces, places. Like the moon, we enhance one's emotional capacity. Like the moon, I'm up all day and all nights. My light is always bright. The moon and I can relate. That's why I stare at its flare. The moon and I can seem away, but it's always there. The moon and I are friends. Some say twins. The moon and I lead the way just in case we wander, just in case we stray. Like the moon, I have many phases, and they all are amazing. Like the moon, I am the light to illuminate dark spaces and dark places. All right, our intentions. I intend to enhance my emotions by staying in motion. I intend to exert discipline to win the emotions of wealth. I like that. I intend to intentionally breathe and release what no longer serves me. I like that even better. I intend to balance and prioritize my time divinely. I intend to be everything I speak and desire to be. Some powerful moon affirmations. Gratitude, moon. Gratitude, moon. All right, and let's read and let's be set free. All right, the UCC connection. Let me scoot up so I can get some more light. On the very first page, this article has really filled in the voids that kept me from fully understanding things. I have found it to be one of the best discussions on the subject of freedom and how our government has managed to take that freedom away from us, all while giving lip service to the Constitution. The title of this article is The UCC Connection. The noteworthy author is Howard Freeman. It is dated September 22nd, 1991. The UCC Connection, How to Free Yourself from Legal Tyranny by Howard Freeman. This is a slightly condensed, casually paraphrased transcript of tapes of a seminar given by Howard Freeman in 1990. It was prepared to make available Mr. Freeman's knowledge and experience in his search for an accessible and understandable explanation of the confusing state of the government and the courts. You don't say. It should be helpful to those who want to develop a deeper understanding of this information without having to listen to 3 or 4 hours of recorded material. The frustrations many Americans feel about our judicial system can be overwhelming and often frightening, and like most fear, it is based on the lack of understanding or knowledge. Those of us who have chosen a path out of bondage and into liberty are faced eventually with the seemingly tyrannical tyrannical power of some governmental agency and the mystifying and awesome power of the courts. We have been taught that we must get a good lawyer, but that is becoming increasingly difficult, if not impossible. If we are defending ourselves from the government, we find that the lawyers quickly take our money and then tell us as the ship is sinking, I can't help you with that. I am an officer of the courts. Keywords of the courts. All right, keyword court. Should I say? Unfortunately, the only way for us to ever have a snowball's chance is to understand the rules of the game. Keyword, rules of the game. Key sentence, key words. Rules of the game, and to come to an understanding of the true nature of the law. The lawyers have established and secured a virtual monopoly over this area of human knowledge by implying that the subject is just too difficult for average persons to understand, and by creating a separate vocabulary out of English words of otherwise common usage. While it may while it may at times seem hopelessly complicated, it is not that difficult to grasp. Are lawyers really as smart as they would have us to believe? Besides, anyone who has been through a legal battle against the government with the aid of a lawyer has come to realize that lawyers know procedure, not law. I agree. Then answered one of the lawyers and said unto him, Master, thus saying, thou reproachest us also. And he said, Woe unto you also, ye lawyers, for ye laid men with burdens. Excuse me. With burdens grievous as to be borne, and ye yourselves touch not the burdens with one of your fingers. Woe unto you, lawyers, for ye have taken away the key of knowledge. Ye entered not in yourselves, and them that were entering in ye kindred. That's what Christ teaches his disciples at Luke 11:45 and 52. So, as we always in law, they bring up the Bible. Same people that created the Bible, same people that created these laws. I don't think they're a coincidence why they're connected. But let's stay connected with the UCC connection. Okay. All right. But that's the shrooms. That's the shrooms. Stimulating. Besides, anyone who has been through a legal battle against the government with the aid of a lawyer has come to realize that lawyers learn about procedure, not about law. Mr. Freeman admits that he is not a lawyer, and as such, he has a way of explaining law to us that puts it well within our reach. Consider also that the framers of the Constitution wrote in language simple enough that the people could understand, specifically so that it would not have to be interpreted. So again, we find other as in many other areas of life, the buck stops here. It is we who must take the responsibility for finding and putting to good use the truth. It is we who must claim and defend our God-given rights and our freedom from those who would take them from us. It is we who must protect ourselves, our families, and our posterity from the inevitable intrusion intrusion into our lives by those who live parasitically off the labor, skill, and talents of others. To these ends, Mr. Freeman offers a simple, hopeful explanation of our plight and a peaceful method of dealing with it. Please take note that this lecture represents one chapter in the book of his understanding, which he is always refining, expanding, improving. It is as all bits of wisdom are a point of departure from which to begin our own journey into understanding we will so that we all we all might be able to pass on to others greater knowledge and hope, and to God the gift of lives lived in peace, freedom, and praise. Gratitude. I send you forth as sheep in the midst of wolves. Be ye therefore wise as serpents and harmless as doves. Matthew 10:16. Introduction. When I beat the IRS, I used Supreme Court SC decisions. If I had tried to use these in court, I would have been convicted. Let's read that again. When I beat the IRS, I used Supreme Court decisions. If I had tried to use these in court, I would have been convicted. Okay. I was involved with the Patriot Group and I studied Supreme Court cases. I concluded that the SC had declared that I was not a person required to file an income tax, that tax was an excise tax on privileges granted by government. So I quit filing and paying income tax, and it was not long before they came down on me with a heavy hand. They issued a notice of deficiency, which had such a fantastic sum on it that the biggest temptation was to go in with their letter and say, "Where in the world did you ever get that figure?" They claimed I owed. Then some 60,000. But even if I had been paying taxes, I never in the world had that much money. So how could I have owed them that much? Section 1. Never argue the amount of deficiency. Fortunately, I had been giving just a little bit of information. Never argue the facts in a tax case. Maximum. Arguments are for fools. If you're not required to file, what do you care whether they say you owe $60 or $60,000? If you are not required to file, the amount doesn't matter. Don't argue the amounts. That is an issue of facts. In most instances, when you get a notice of deficiency, it is usually for some fantastic amount. The minute you say, "I don't owe that much," you have voluntarily agreed that you owe them something, and you have just giving them jurisdiction. Just don't be shocked at the amount on a notice of deficiency, NOD, even if it's $10 million. If the law says that you are not required to file or pay tax, the amount doesn't matter. By arguing the amount, they will just say that you must go to tax court and decide what the amount is to be. By the time you get to tax court, the law issues are all decided. You are only there to decide how much you owe. They will not listen to arguments of the law. So I went to see the agent and told him that I wasn't required to file. He said, "You are required to file, Mr. Freeman." But I had all these SC cases and I started reading them to him. He said, "I don't know anything about law, Mr. Freeman, but the code says that you are required to file. And you're going to pay that amount or you're going to go to tax court." I thought that someone there ought to know something about the law. So I asked, what's the code? So I asked to talk to his superior. I went to him and got out my SC cases, Supreme Court, and he wouldn't listen to them. I don't know anything about law, Mr. Freeman. I finally got to the problems resolution officer, and he said the same thing. He said that the only person above him was the district director. So I went to see him. By the time I got to his office, they had phoned ahead, and his secretary said he was out. But I heard someone in his office, and I knew he was there. I went down the elevator around the corner to the federal building and into Senator Simpson's office. There was a girl sitting there at a desk, and she asked me if she could help me. I told her my problem. I said that I really think the district director, Senator Simpson's district director, is up there. I asked her to call the IRS and tell them that it was Senator Simpson's office calling in to ask if the district director is in. I said, if you get him on the phone, tell him that you are from the senator's office and you have a person whom you are sending over to speak to him. If he is, can he wait just 5 minutes? It worked. He was there, so I ran back up to his office. His secretary met me when I came in and said, Mr. Freeman, you're so lucky. The director just arrived. Yeah, I bet. The director was very nice and offered me coffee and cookies, and we sat and talked. So he asked me what I wanted to talk to him about. If you never have someone, if you ever have someone say to you, I'm from the government and I'm here to help you, watch out. But we can turn that around and approach them in the same way. So I said, I thought you ought to know that these are agents working for you who are writing letters over your name that you wouldn't agree with. Do you read all the mail that goes out of this office over your signature? The director said, oh, I couldn't read everything. It goes out there by the bagful. That was what I thought. I said, there are some of your agents writing letters which contradict the decisions of the Supreme Court of the United States. And they're not doing it over their name, they're doing it over your name. He was very interested to hear about it and asked if I had any examples. I just happened to have some with me, so I got them out and presented them to him. Supreme Court cases supporting Freeman's position. The director thought it was very interesting and asked if I could leave this information with him, which I did. He said he would look it over and contact me within 3 days. 3 days later, he called me up and said, I'm sure, Mr. Freeman, that you will be glad to know that your notice of deficiency has been withdrawn. We've determined that you're not a person required to file. Your file is closed and you will hear no more from us. I haven't heard another word from them since. That was 1980, and I haven't filed since 1969. All right, the Supreme Court on trial. I thought sure I had the answer, but when a friend got charged with this willful failure to file an income tax, he asked me to help him. I told him that they would have to prove that he willfully failed to file, and I suggested he should put me on the witness stand. He should ask me if I spoke to a certain time. He should ask me if I spoke at a certain time and place in Scottsbluff. And did I see him in the audience? He should then ask me what I spoke about that day. All right, well, that's all now. I will have more of the UCC connection reading, but I just wanted to at least do 5 pages. Oh, yeah, a little over 5 pages, just to get us started on this UCC connection under the full moon. So I will finish the rest later. Peace.